VAR, kind of like Marmite. You either love it or hate it. And in this case, not too keen. Saints fans, another disappointing loss, probably the hardest one to take this season. It's going to be a long one. Get buckled in, get comfy, because we are going to analyse the donkeys off of this game. Let's crack on. In original Cami Saint format, we're going to talk about the game and then we're going to go into ratings. And then we're going to give our overall conclusion. So, where to begin? Let's begin with the first half. So, Saints' plan A seems to be attack for 45 minutes. Defend what you've got in those 45 minutes for the next 45 minutes. Plan B seems to be, there isn't a plan B. There is no plan B. There is just attack. If you run out of energy, sod it, you're off. Do you know what I mean? So, we have to admit, class run from Armstrong. Does two Wolves players, dribbles down the wing, stops, look like he's just going to pass it back, swings across into the box, met by the beautiful right foot of Danny Ings, who just smashes it into the corner of the goal. It's a quality finish, especially to get past an experienced keeper like Patricio. And yeah, superb goal. You can see how much that meant to him as well in his celebration. He was loving it. Back on the score sheet, Danny Ings, 6 points for the fantasy team. Excellent start, loving life. I'm sat on my beanbag, just living it up, right?
What a goal from Danny Ings that was. I must say, that was all Stewie Armstrong's work. Literally drifted in between the defenders and then just swings it into Ings with no options available short. Stewie Armstrong, I've said it before, I'll say it again, he is our most underrated player. He's superb. What a goal. 1-0 Saints.
As the game went on, we had a few chances here and there. Redmond looked flat. He provided absolutely nothing up top. There were moments where he was 1-on-1 or 1-on-2 and he'd just stop against the man and pass it backwards. And you don't see Che Adams doing that. See, the thing is with Redmond, it's kind of like Walcott in a way, but Walcott's a bit more experienced. He knows what to do, whereas Redmond, he's coming up to that ripe old age where you're supposed to be in your prime, and he doesn't look like it. I think he should be playing in the Championship. He had a few chances where he just fluffed it. He could have put us 2-3, maybe 4-0 up. But anyway, back to Saints' game plan. Attack for 45 minutes. Everyone's run out of energy by this point. If I was Hassan Hootel, I'd say, don't even think about coming to the dressing room at half time if you're not 2-0 up, at least, minimum. 2 goals up. If you're 1-0 up or it's 0-0, don't even bother coming into the dressing room. I'll address you on the pitch and you can keep working, you can do laps, Probably wouldn't do that because it'd tire them out even more than they are. But there needs to be a plan B. Because every team in the Premier League has sussed us out now. They've all had an emergency meeting. All the teams in the Premier have gone, look, this is how Southampton play. We can't let them push any higher. They can't let them get to top 4. This is how they play. They attack for 45 minutes. They rush. They run out of energy. The next 45, they're slow. They defend what they've got. They just defend what they've managed to achieve in 45 minutes. So, Premier League teams, we weather the storm for 45 minutes. Who knows? VAR is going to go our way, just like the Marmite. If they score 2 goals, they're all going to be deemed offside. Handballs in the box, doesn't matter, doesn't apply to us, only applies to Southampton, right? Weather the storm for 45 minutes. Don't even bother attacking Southampton for the first half, right? Attack them in the second half when they're all out of energy and they've got nothing to play for. This is how you change that, okay? This is how you change that. You do half and half, okay? You do half and half, or you do every 10 minutes. So 10 minutes attack, 10 minutes defend, 10 minutes attack, 10 minutes defend, just like that. And kind of play a little bit in control. Just pass the ball around, maintain possession. That way you can consistently do that throughout the game and your opponent will misjudge what you're doing. Maybe slip up, might be able to control the game a bit more. If it gets to the 70th minute, we're 2-0 up. Don't need to push for another goal. Just possession. Boring to watch, but just like Mourinho, grinds out points, grinds out results. Anyway, let's get back to the game. So we're 1-0 up at half time thanks to Danny Ings. Probably the worst second half display I've ever seen from Southampton. In the Newcastle game there was fight, because obviously we were 3-1 down. But in this game there was no fight. It was defending the 1-0 lead. The Bertrand handball. Let's look at this. Right. There needs to be consistency to the handball rule. Because at this point in time, If it strikes your hand in the box, it's down to interpretation. The referee, depending on his judgment, will either give a penalty or he'll waive play on. In this scenario, Southampton versus Wolves, there were 2 handballs. Okay, one by Dendoncker, one by Ryan Bertrand. Ryan Bertrand, I'll show the clip. Ryan Bertrand turns to his back against the wall, hands relatively close to his chest. The ball strikes his arm at point blank. The force on the ball is probably coming at him about 40-50 miles an hour, strikes his arm, pushes it away from his body. If you were to look at his body position when the ball was struck, you can see he's turning his back, his arm's close to his chest, trying to block the shot with his back, right? Doesn't want to get hit in the face. Nobody would. So the ball hits his arm, pushes it away. So whoever is the video assistant referee needs to look at when the ball was struck. What was the player doing? If he'd stuck his arm out like that to block the shot, penalty. If he stuck his arm out like that, penalty. You don't need to stick your arm out like that. If you've turned to block, to protect yourself against the strike of a 50-mile-an-hour object, you protect your vital organs, you protect your face, you turn, right? That's what he's done. And it's hit his arm, and because the ball has pushed his arm away, and now his arm is in an unnatural position, it's been given as a penalty. So I think that is completely incorrect. Call me biased, but I don't believe that should have been given a penalty. I think that was really cruel. And the Amazon Prime commentators were in agreement. The Dendoncker handball. This wasn't given as much airtime for some strange reason. So at this point, Wolves have scored their penalty.
Neves steps up. Come on, McCarthy. Come on. Little run up. And it's in. 1-1.
Ruben Neves smashes it bottom corner. Good penalty, actually. Very good penalty. Really, really good. At this point, Dendoncker fondles the ball in the box. Right? This is probably exactly the same. Didn't really get much airtime, so we didn't get really a good look at it. So the referee waved play on as if nothing had happened, and VAR had performed the check without even showing it on the screen, without even showing us. Do you know what I mean? Baffling, really baffling. Anyway, so Dendoncker, I think he was in this sort of position, and the ball struck his arm. Now at this point, I think his arm's perpendicular to his chest, to his abdomen, and the ball struck his arm, right, or it struck his elbow, somewhere along that forearm area, and it struck it. That's a handball in a box. It's below the sleeve. It's applying to all of the rules in the handball booklet. Referee should have gone over to his bag at that point, got out his rule book, flicked to page, 303. Oh yeah, no, actually, if the ball strikes player's arm in a box, penalty. Right. Okay, that's the rule. We'll play by that rule. Now, he didn't give it. Okay, didn't give it. On what reasons? No idea. If the reasons were because his arm was in a natural position, then you can't give the Bertrand one. You either give them both or you give none at all. Okay, so really inconsistent refereeing. Really inconsistent, incompetent, immature referee. So the ball struck his elbow, they haven't given a penalty. Saints players bemused. Ralph bemused. I think even Nuno was probably like, bloody hell, got away with that. That's blimey. All right, fair enough. You know, I'm not going to complain because didn't get a penalty awarded, but it should have been a penalty. Looking from a neutral perspective, the Bertrand one was really harsh. It struck his arm, fair enough, it's a penalty. That's how I feel the game should be, regardless of whether it's in a natural position or not. But the amount of times this season, it's about 2 or 3, I'm not exaggerating, where a ball has been struck by an opponent's arm in the box and the referee's gone, no, it's ball to hand, mate. There is no such thing as ball to hand. If it strikes the arm in the box, it's a penalty. That should be the rule, regardless of whether it's in a natural position or not. But it's just so inconsistent. There is no clarity on this rule. It's not clear enough for these referees to even comprehend. Do you know what I mean? It's all down to interpretation, and the rules should not be like that. It's the same as the offside rule. It's all down to interpretation, and it shouldn't be like that. There are some Sunday League refs that I think would do a better job than some of the Premier League affiliated ones. Saints really foot off the gas at this point. They're rolling along in gear 1. You know, they're rolling the clutch at this point. They're just casually going along. And we need to talk about the substitutions. We need to go more attacking. That was my thought. We need to attack. What does Ralph do? Takes off Minamino and takes off Stuart Armstrong. Why? Stuart Armstrong, the only player to show any sort of creativity in the first half. Brilliant cross into Danny Ings. Takes him off. Fair enough, protect him for the Chelsea game. Cool. Whatever. Minamino, who I thought looked quality, every time he got the ball, he wanted to attack. He wanted to get forward. Took him off. Left Nathan Redmond on the pitch. When I saw Gineppo warming up, I was like, oh, he's come on to replace Redmond. Push Minamino up top with Danny Ings. That's a quality substitution, right? Redmond's done nothing. Gineppo, given the chance, takes Minamino off. Rest him for the Chelsea game. Okay, all right, fine. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So, Minamino comes off, Gineppo comes on. Didn't really see Gineppo, to be honest. Didn't really do anything. His first touch, the ball went through his legs and went out for a Wolves throw. And then the next substitution, Stuart Armstrong comes off. Che Adams goes on.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Okay, fair enough. Why Stuart Armstrong? Why take him off? Why take Redmond off, leave Stewie on, put Che on up top with Danny Ings? Now, Che looked really good. I don't know why he's starting on the bench. Ralph saying because he's in a bit of a goal drought. Well, every player is. You're playing Redmond up top. He's not going to score goals. He's not a born striker, is he? He's a winger. He's not going to bag your goals. Che Adams will, and he works hard. Che Adams gets into that midfield, I've said this before, gets into that false nine position and creates opportunities for players going forward. But we just look scared to go forward. But anyway, moving on. Then Kyle Walker-Peters gets injured. Don't really see what happened. He had a hamstring injury earlier on. It looked like he'd done his hamstring. He's walking off, so that's a good sign. So no worries there. But unfortunately, Ralph said that it doesn't look good. So it may be out for a few weeks, which isn't great. But hopefully he comes back for that soft period when we've got teams like Fulham and Sheffield and West Brom near the end of the season. So hopefully be able to pick up maybe a draw there. So Walker-Peters comes off, Salisu comes on. Salisu looked alright. He managed to stop a few of the attackers coming forward, managed to keep Traore in his pocket because he's got that speed and strength. And then we get to the Wolves' second goal. Pedro Neto.
And we're 2-1 down. We don't look like scoring anything. We're up against ropes, bloodied and beaten. Vestergaard gets sold a ham sandwich and goes to town. And Neto just slaps it, and McCarthy may as well just not be in the goal at that point. Beating at his near post, beating at his far post, and it's just span past him.
Absolutely class. Literally in the box, no one's tackling him, turns inside, and then curls it into the corner of the goal. McCarthy's got to be doing better there. He just looks shy. He just looks really shy. If he comes out straight to feet, blocks the shot, blocks all angles, and saved it, going out for a corner. But instead he stayed on his goal line, left Vestergaard to it, just curled it around him. Goalkeeping 101 that. Don't get beaten at your near post, don't get beaten at your far post. 2 rules in the rule book for goalkeeping. I used to be a goalkeeper. 5 to 6 years was goalkeeping for. So even though you're one man between the sticks, you've got to mark both posts. That's your job. Bit of individual excellence from Pedro Neto seals the Wolves victory. Even at 2-1 down, with 20 minutes to go, we just looked flat. We didn't look like scoring. We didn't look like creating anything. There was a good chance for Che Adams. James Ward-Prowse, I think, on the edge of the box. Whacks it. Good save from Patricio. If it was John Ruddy, it would have gone in. And then the follow-up, he parries it away. The follow-up from Che Adams, saved as well. But I think Che Adams was offside anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then that was it. That was the end of the game. We do feel a little bit penalised because of the handball, and we keep getting done by the handball rule. But I feel like the universe will correct itself eventually. We will be able to come back. We've got Chelsea next, but before I move on to the conclusion, let's go through the player ratings. McCarthy should have done a lot better. McCarthy, you get a 5, mate. You get a 5. Bertrand, played alright. I like Bertrand, give him a 6. Didn't do anything special. No assist for Minamino this time, 6. Vestergaard, still getting back into it, give him the benefit of the doubt, give him a 6 as well. Bednarak needs to be swapped out for Salisu. I think Bednarak needs a rest, give him a 5. Kyle Walker-Peters did alright up until he got injured. Promising career, that little one, give him a 6. On the left, Minamino showed good skill, probably one of our best players on the pitch that day, give him a 7. Ora Romeo, again, looked really good. Glad that he's back in the team. He's going to be important for the Chelsea game. Give him a 6 as well. James Ward-Prowse, yeah, he did alright. He needs to show a bit more fighting spirit towards the end of the game though. He needs to be proper uplifting this team because now we're on 6 successive defeats. I need to see more from James Ward-Prowse. I need to see him gearing up the team for the second half. Really shouting. I want to hear the microphones on the sideline pick him up. That's how loud I want to hear him shout. Give him a 6. Stewie Armstrong. Absolute quality assist. Again, him and Minamino, best players on the pitch. Give Stewie an 8. Stewie played really well. Up front, Danny Ings. Danny Ings, great finish, good goal. Worked hard again. I'll give Danny a 7. Nathan Redmond, he had a good chance. I think he hit it first time from a Danny Ings through ball, and it was going bottom corner, but Patricio got a hand to it, pushed it around the post. I think that was his best chance of the game. There were a few moments where he could have scored, and if it was Che Adams, he might put the ball in the net, but just not good enough from Redmond today. Needs to do better on his finishing, needs to get that confidence back, and I reckon one single goal will do that, but he just hasn't got it yet. I'm going to give Redders a 5 today. And then the subs, Gineppo didn't really do anything, give him a 5. Che Adams came on, worked hard, he's fighting for his place, I'll give Che Adams a 6. And Salisu, bless him, trying to play right back, or wherever he was playing. I think he was playing left centre back, and Bednarek's playing right back. I don't know, 6, didn't do anything bad, didn't do anything great. Let's move on to the conclusion now. So Chelsea next, going to be a tough game. It'll be a very, very tough game. 6 successive defeats. It's never happened to us before. We need to pick ourselves back up. We need to go back to the training ground, start working on the basics again, and come up with a game plan. Come up with a plan B. Perhaps we move to a 3 at the back, play a 3-5-2, you know, and the wingers just have to work extra hard at dropping back. Don't play Minamino at left back or left mid. Play Bertrand at left mid. Play Vestergaard, Bednarek and Salisu, the 3 centre backs, and then play Redmond or Gineppo at right mid. Then the 3 in the middle, Romeu, Ward-Prowse, Armstrong, and up top, Minamino, Danny Ings. That should be the lineup for Chelsea. I think that's a good plan B. That's an ultra-attacking team. Chelsea, bit of width, Pulisic, Ziyech, but I don't really know if those lot are playing at the moment. Haven't really been following Chelsea, so it should be a good game. Needs to be a plan B. This game plan isn't working, and I don't know when it's gonna. I don't know when Ralph is gonna figure that out. Perhaps he figured it out when he was, I don't know, laying in bed that night, thinking, "Oh, right, I need to come up with a new plan." Hopefully that came to him, and he's had an epiphany overnight, and he's been working on it on the training ground today. Actually, I think the players might have had a day off today, so Monday he'll probably integrate some sort of plan B. Chelsea next, going to be a hard game. Let's wait and see. Let's see, Saints fans. We need something to change. I'll do a preview, but if I'm looking at it right now, I've got a week to change things. I think Chelsea will win. I don't think it'll be a drumming, but I think it won't be embarrassing either. Somewhere between 3 and 4-1. We'll see how things change throughout the week. But this has been Cammy Saint. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And come on, you Reds.